Dom, I have the pick. Are you ready?
I'm hoping it's Miles Frazier, man. Please tell me it's Miles
Pick is
Frazier.
in, and it is Francisco Mauigoa, linebacker, Miami, Florida.
Francisco Mauigoa.
Mauigoa, two-time second team All ACC last 2 years.
Yeah, another. Well, I mean, he's not. It's 6'2", 235. I'm looking real quick here at what I have. Sideline to sideline, speed. Maneuvers through traffic well. It has some blitzing upside, which I know that they like. Big motor. Not fast. I want to see what he ran here. Give me 1 second. I have him. Yeah, 4.6 with a 1.56 10-yard split. 21 pressures this year, 21 pressures last year. Looks like it's a blitzing linebacker. Again, 7th round grade for me, Jake.
7th round grade?
Yep.
So that's now 2 players that the Jets have taken in round 4 and round 5 that you've had a 7th round grade on. That sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is. I don't got much to offer on. I only have a handful of games. I'm looking at my notes here on Francisco. I only have a handful of games reviewed about him. So I wish I had better analysis for you. That's disappointing. Not because the player stinks. I'm not saying that. The fact is that I still think that there is so much more talent on the board. They clearly have a spot. They went with no defensive lineman.
This is not the Miami player I wanted, too, by the way. Right before you got on, I was talking about Restrepo if they were going to double up on wide receiver as an option here.
Yeah. Francisco Mauigoa. It's Mauigoa. Francisco Mauigoa was my 20th ranked linebacker in the class. American Samoan. Let's see.
Led the team in tackles the last 2 years.
Yeah, I got it. He's a transfer from Washington State.
We should send this guy a Taylor ham sandwich because this is the pick we got for Mike Williams.
Yeah. Little disappointed on that one. Not going to lie. Even at linebackers, I think there are some other guys that I preferred still on the board. Tyreen Powell out of Rutgers, I think, was a really good player, big physical guy. If you wanted to go address the linebacker room, it's clear that they got, between Jamin Davis, who's a, linebacker depth, and now Mauigoa here from Miami, they want guys that can blitz, I think that it's disappointing that they missed the mark on both the interior offensive line, which I thought was a need, and the defensive line, both at the edge and deep tackle. You left arguably one of the deepest, if not the deepest, defensive lineman draft with 0 defensive linemen drafted.
They got one more pick for what it's worth, but they missed out on the full wave of players at that position team. And maybe there's someone left in the 6th round. The Jets are scheduled to have one final pick. That pick will not be until the 6th round, and it is let's see. It is, I can't even see what overall number it is because PFF has not shown me it, but it's in the 6th round. Pick 186 is their final pick here. So unless they trade, they got one pick left. And after hearing you break down this guy and you saying you don't have a lot, and that tells me that
I don't have a lot. Listen, in full disclosure,
you know everyone though, Don. That's
in full disclosure, this linebacker class, I did the lightest amount of work on. Like I said, I only have a handful of games filmed on him. I read you my scouting report of what I had on him.
Yep.
He didn't flash. He didn't pop. He wasn't memorable. He was my 20th ranked guy with us, and he earned a 7th round grade.
Yikes.
I'm not going to say, I see Dave's comment in here, Muji equals Idzik. I'm not going to go there. I mean, listen, these are 5th and 6th round picks.
Remember when I was so negative? Jake, how dare you? You got to give Glenn and Muji a chance. And now you're all the same people because they take some guy you never heard of in the 5th round. You're out on them immediately. You're out on them. How about this? I'm not negative. I call it how it is. I'll give the Jets credit when they deserve it and criticize them when they don't. I'm going to say, let's take a deep breath. We're talking about a 5th round pick ultimately, if they hit on their first 3 picks, which the vast majority of this fan base seems to really like, that's how you're going to remember this draft class. I just want to remind everyone that chances are any of these day 3 picks, they usually don't work out. Now, sometimes they do, and the good organizations can find good players on day 3. But most importantly, you got to get your first 3 picks right. And I think, Dom, to your point earlier when you joined us, you like what they've done with their first 3 picks.
Yeah, no, I do. Even though it wouldn't have been the direction I went, like, I understand them. They make sense. They were very, very good players, very safe pick. I still think AZ Thomas is a steal. I think that was an excellent selection. I think he's going to fit the defense very well, even if it's not as a starter this year. I think he's going to, he's the kind of guy that you want on this team. I think he's a perfect scheme fit. Obviously, Mason Taylor and Armand Membo come in and plug and play. And Malachi Moore, I thought, was a really good pick as well. Very versatile safety, 5-year starter. 5-year starter. So, I'm fine with the Malachi Moore pick as well. I'm not going to say that Mauigoa's bad. I'm just going to say that my end-all decision on him is still undecided because I just didn't watch a ton of film. I just didn't watch a ton of film on him. Only 3 or 4 games done. My notes just says that he blitzes a lot for the most part. Good sideline speed, blitzing capabilities. Yeah, that's where we stand, Jake, with Francisco Mauigoa. Now, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you hit the nail on the head. Like, we took Michael Clemens in the 4th round. We've taken Max Mitchell in the 4th round. Are these guys worse off than those guys? No. Michael Clemens, although last year was pretty god awful. We got excited as the season got on that he was going to be a rotational piece early on, so on and so forth. There was high hopes for Max Mitchell. I think that we've been so entrenched in this offseason, particularly because the season was done pretty much after the London game, week 5. So everyone has been involved in reading the mocks, and you do the mocks, and you can get this guy here, and this guy's still on the board. So I think everyone's fallen in love with names and not the Francisco Mauigoas of the world, because no one really knows who he is. So we think it's a bad pick, and it very well may end up being a bad pick. But on the flip side, there's been other teams that can develop 5th rounders into viable, starting pieces. Why not the Jets?
Why not the Jets?